We now arrive at a moment that every member of this team had wished would never come for over a year. The time we knew that we all must go our separate ways and then hopefully, just for a while, our NASCAR Winston Cup coverage. As the senior member of the team, I've accepted the responsibility of saying farewell. And believe me, it is not easy. Benny, Ned, Jerry, John, Bill, Mike Wells, our director, and Neil Goldberg, our producer, and a lot of other behind-the-scenes people, and I, have become like family over the years. And although I and several other members of this team will continue to be seen on ESPN, our time together as a team is over. We thank everyone at NASCAR and the various tracks we've visited, but most importantly, we thank you, our fans, who have contributed so much to our coverage down through the years. It was for you that we've done this since 1981. Without you, there would have been no magic. And so it is to you that we dedicate these next few moments. We hope you take pride, as we will, in what we've accomplished on those more than 200 Sunday afternoons.
This was the final sign-off of NASCAR on ESPN in 2000, a bittersweet ending for one of NASCAR's longest-lasting partnership pairings. With the new 2001 to 2006 contract with Fox Sports and NBC Sports, ESPN was left by the wayside. And over the next 6 years, NASCAR would reach heights that were unimaginable before this contract. But even with the success, NBC did not re-up their contract for the new 2007 to 2014 deal, leaving the second half of the season of the Cup Series as well as the Busch Series altogether up for the highest bidder. And with this, ESPN looked to make its triumphant return to NASCAR. In NASCAR fashion, the return was huge. ESPN joined Fox Sports and Turner Sports as part of an 8-year, $4.8 billion contract, while NBC chased after Sunday Night Football. ESPN and ABC Sports would cover the final 17 races of the Cup schedule, and they would start at the Brickyard 400 as well as the entirety of the Busch then-turned Nationwide Series schedule. They had a new show on the main channel throughout the week called NASCAR Now, as well as tons upon tons of promotion across any channel that was owned by Disney. Hell, they even managed to get Aerosmith for the race intro. ESPN looked determined to give NASCAR the red carpet treatment. After all, it was the second most popular sporting league in America, only behind the NFL at the time. So with all of this, one has to ask, how did it fail? How did this duo fail? Starting out, the broadcasts were fairly solid. ESPN tried to use top-of-the-line tools and technology to go in-depth on every aspect of the sport. The Nationwide Series broadcasts in the opening years were solid. In the booth, though, was where the initial trouble spots were at. As lead announcer, there was Dr. Jerry Punch. While being a top commentator before, for some reason, it just didn't translate to the new deal. Next to him was Andy Petrie. Petrie was a former championship-winning crew chief as well as a former car owner. His insight was valuable, but he was woefully unprepared and unpolished. Without a good surrounding, he was basically lost at sea, at least to start with. And then there was Rusty Wallace, fresh off of his driving career ending in 2005 in Cup. While exuding enthusiasm, he was another that just didn't have what it took, at the time at least, to be in the booth. Commonly, the three would be out of sync from one another, and it just seemed really bad and unprofessional to many who were watching. ESPN, as well as many fans, saw Rusty as the root cause, and in 2008, he was out in place of Dale Jarrett. Jarrett and Petrie showed great chemistry, and the booth seemed one man away from greatness. In 2010, ESPN chose Marty Reed. This was a recipe for gaffes.
Trouble! Kurt's into the wall. Boyer's in it as well. And Kurt's getting the worst of it. One lap down. Some other cars that came back out. Mike Bliss, J.J. Yaley, Michael McDowell, Kevin Conway, Joe Nemechek, the only one off track. There you go. This is going to be interesting. Tony's coming right by. Hamlin says, what went fast me, right? Everybody on their feet here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. And the fifth chase in the race for the Sprint Cup is green to the stripe. Who's going to lead? Lap number 4. Officially, Clint Boyer. No, how about officially Montoya? Because the white flag was displayed, and Kevin Harvick was in the race lead. The official word is, it is the 33 of Clint Boyer. So Boyer will finish first. Kevin Harvick will be second. Race leader Carl Edwards is the third car in that train, and he has 26 laps to go to get his first ever Sprint Cup win. Nothing any of these guys can do. That hammering you hear is the sound of the nail of the final coffin on the Chase contenders' hopes of upsetting Jimmy Johnson.
After a season of just mediocre announcing and horrible screw-ups, ESPN elected to do what they probably should have done from the very beginning. They put Alan Bestwick in the booth for Cup. From 2011 onwards, there would not be another change-up on air like that. But in taking 5 years to get it down and get it right, ESPN sacrificed an important thing that NASCAR fans cherish, even if they don't realize it: continuity. NASCAR fans hate change. Now I'm going to put it in perspective here. Fox's booth in 2001 stayed the same year to year through the 2015 season, and NBC's initial run only had a year-to-year change when they inexplicably replaced Alan Bestwick with Bill Weber in 2005. In the pits, ESPN's reporters, though, had tons of talent, such as Mike Massaro, Vince Welch, Dave Burns, Shannon Spake, and Jamie Little, just to name a few. In the ESPN pit studio, there also was tons of talent. Nicole Briscoe, Ray Evernham, Brad Daugherty, and later Rusty Wallace all had tons of chemistry together and really played well together for the pre-race. Once they all got it figured out, the talent wasn't a problem. The broadcasts themselves were great. The issue was in twofold with the network itself. To start with, the network itself, while initially welcoming, turned out to be more or less stereotype pushers. On-air personalities for shows like SportsCenter began to degrade the sport. This probably made NASCAR look like a complete joke to the 90 million households that they were in at the time. Add to this that whether races were on ABC or ESPN, they would push them to other lower-tier networks that they had if there was the slightest hint of scheduling conflicts. This was seen no more egregiously than in 2008 at Phoenix, when in the penultimate race of the 2008 season, they moved the race from ABC not to ESPN, but to ESPN2 for the final 34 laps. Yes, a race that was pivotal in shaping up the championship battle for the 2008 season, no matter how done it seemed, was moved to another network. That is alien for any other sport of its size. Keep in mind that at the time, NASCAR was averaging just under 7 million viewers per race. This is not normal in any other sporting event of its size. And NASCAR fans saw the organizational disrespect that ESPN was slapping them in the face with. ESPN doubled down on this between 2009 and 2010 as well. In 2009, there were 11 races on the more viewed ABC channel, and 6 were on the cable channel of ESPN. In 2010, though, through the end of the contract, only 3 races were on ABC, while 14 were on ESPN. And this contributed almost directly to the massive ratings fall in 2009 and 2010. And in my opinion, this also aided in NASCAR's fall in ratings at the time almost directly and sent ripples for years to come. But all of these pale in comparison as to why NASCAR and ESPN's relationship, in my opinion, failed on their second go. It was the ESPN culture change. When the 07-14 TV deal was signed, it was 2005. NASCAR was averaging nearly 9 to 10 million viewers per race. It was one of the most well-known, seriously viewed sports in America at the time, and it was cool to watch NASCAR. NASCAR was the fastest growing sport in America. Everybody wanted to get in on the giant pie. But by the end of the contract in 2014, the sport was bleeding viewers, and it was not really popular at all in the mainstream. ESPN went on more of a trendy and personality-based path, while NASCAR and its fans did not follow them. ESPN wanted everyone to be more of a Stephen A. Smith, and NASCAR just never could do it. It did not fit in the late 2000s and early 2010s NASCAR. Plus, ESPN overall moved in a direction that shunned most motorsports fans in general. By the end of the NASCAR contract as well, ESPN was also moving to a more political and social justice direction. And that just was a direction that NASCAR proved unwilling to go to at that time. Really, much of ESPN's failures with NASCAR were due to ESPN itself, not NASCAR, not its drivers, and not its fans. But with that, I want to pass this all on to you. Why do you think ESPN's second stint with NASCAR ended in utter failure? Let me know down in the comments below. And while you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great NASCAR content like this. And until next time, have a good one.